So for today's panel, I thought we'd spice it up a bit, and we're gonna talk about our favorite animals or pets in the DC and Marvel comics. You go. All right, I mean, fair point. I wouldn't agree with those choices, but...
Matt.
What?
Again.
No.
You should just get the gang back together.
Let's do this.
May it please the court, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this is going to be the most important testimony you hear in all of this case.
Dan! Autobots roll out!
You know, it's not that important.
Tina, what is this?
It's TikTok.
Where are we? Is this where you've been?
Yeah.
Tina, you gotta stop. Tina, no! Stop dancing! Tina, we gotta go back to YouTube.
YouTube.
Listen, we're getting everyone back together. You don't have to stay here anymore. You're not stuck here anymore, Tina.
I'm not.
Let's go! Is this where you've been the whole time?
Yeah, dude, I'm playing Final Fantasy and Zelda and Dragon Quest.
Rob, cut it out. The gang is getting back together. We've got to go.
Oh, snap, why'd you do that? Wait, what? Who's gonna edit all this?
Oh, crap. Yeah, where is Andrew?
That's right, all you mentees. After years of waiting, we are finally getting an ALF on... Hold on. What's that? Yes, I'm wearing pants. Why? Nearman Collective is going live! Nearman Collective is going live! Woo!
Okay, so what now?
All right, guys, so we're out of practice. What's up? We gathered you all here today.
Speak for yourself.
Okay, out of practice of talking to people.
In
Right.
person.
I talk to people every day.
Out of practice of not
Nobody
talking
talks
over.
back to me. But I talk to people every day.
Yeah, I'm used to having the other screens in between and,
Right.
you know, my mic going out or anything else. But
I've not done that. I've been a couch goblin. Like, nobody hears or sees me. Like, just, there I exist.
I don't think a couch goblin is what you think.
All right, so it's been like a year and a half, some change or something, since we've all been together.
Yeah,
See
last
each
year
other.
kind of
Weird.
See each other. Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
what's up? What's everybody been getting into? You know, Andrew, we should start with you because really,
Oh, you're in the panel?
Oh man,
who's editing?
I was really
Who's
hoping
behind
to
the
just
cameras?
sit here and not say anything for like 20 minutes and then everybody's just wondering what's going on here.
So if you didn't know what Andrew looked like, there you go.
Yeah, you're a
this
camera
is what I
guy,
look
the
like.
guy who makes everything happen.
Well, let's get over the obvious. Obviously, like,
The hair.
your
Oh,
locks.
yeah.
The lovely lady looks.
Your
You're
PSP
Keanu Reeves.
commercial.
See, but the thing is, that's only new to us because people who don't know him because he's behind the camera don't know he hasn't just had this the whole time.
That's true.
Had a
It could be
few
short.
cameos.
I can still appreciate the hair.
Right.
So-
This is a brand new channel, though, so we have to act like
Oh,
this
yeah.
is the first of everything.
No.
Hello, friends.
There we
If
go.
you're checking us out for the first time, we used to hang out on another channel, Nearman Condition.
I'm still there. You are too.
I'm still there too.
They show up from time to time.
Yeah, occasionally.
But you know, been doing a lot of comics on that channel. It's gone really comic centric, which is awesome.
Right?
And so we're like, well, where does the other stuff go? Where should we put it?
Ooh, I like that. That's what this channel should have been called. The other stuff.
Where's the
Not even that, just where's the other stuff go?
Where's the other
Where's the other
stuff?
stuff go? So
That's
we
a
made,
mouthful.
made a new channel that you're watching this on, presumably, Nearman Collective. So sounds the same people, just some non-comic book stuff, still geeky stuff, still whatever, still us hanging out. That's the TLDR. Now we can go back. Andrew, what have you been doing?
Clearly
Well
I've
done.
been, it was very well done. Yeah, I've been growing my hair out.
And that's it.
That's been the entirety of my year and a half now. Yeah. It actually all happened in the last 2 days.
Wait. Do you guys remember that old, like, movie where that kid put peanut butter on his
The peanut
head?
butter.
Yes!
Peanut butter solution.
Oh,
Yes,
solution,
yes.
solution.
Peanut butter solution. Yes.
Where he
Yep.
put peanut butter on his head and his hair grew and grew and grew and grew and grew and grew and grew.
My wife told me about this, and I was like,
I
"This
need
you're
to go
making
try
this up.
this.
This is fiction, but it's a real thing. We found
It's
it.
a
The only other person I knew about this was
Cat.
Cat?
because we talked about
cuts my
there was a
hair.
little
Yeah.
like the guy had a friend
Yeah.
who
Yep.
was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing, your hair grew when you put peanut butter to the solution, right? And he did not put it on his head, he put it someplace else.
And things did not
Isn't
work.
this an episode of The Simpsons? Demoxidil.
No, it's a.
I was actually thinking this is a very elaborate prank you all are trying to find.
I'm gonna go try
this later.
Sorry.
See how you responded? That's how I responded the first time. I was like, "That's some."
It's a real thing. I got it on Blu-ray if you want to borrow it.
Interesting.
It is not on Blu-ray.
I swear it's on
It's
Blu-ray.
not on Blu-ray.
I have it on Blu-ray.
Amazon on demand.
It is on
maybe,
bootleg
but-
VHS.
So besides the hair,
Besides the hair.
which is immaculate.
It's
Well,
very
see,
counter
Besides the hair, let's see.
cyberpunk-esque.
I can't. We did a one shot of D&D. Was that?
that's right.
I think that was
We
like
did
right
all do
after the
that.
pandemic started,
Yeah.
right?
It was for your birthday, I think.
That's right, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Birthday, 420.
Blaze it.
Who did you wink at?
His dealer.
There's no one behind the camera.
that
I
you're
know, it's kind
aware
of weird. And after that, so I had a lot of fun with that. And so then right after that, some friends of mine that are part of my wife's like Irish dance group mostly, we got a campaign together. So that was the one shot was my first D&D ever. And then right after that, I started my first campaign ever. That was a hell of a lot of fun.
So you did what a lot of people have done in the past year and a half, which is a lot of D&D and role-playing online.
That was yeah.
I used to have like 2 sessions a week.
I did that, yeah. But you know what? The thing is, like, that was about the only thing I did. Like, I didn't bathe,
Yeah.
didn't bathe, didn't shower.
That's the secret to his hair.
Nobody needs any of that anymore, right? That's how you grow your hair out. No, I mean, the other thing was, like, I didn't do a lot of things. Like, I kept seeing all these people, like, oh, this is kind of great. I have all this free time to learn play new instruments or learn new
that's how
skills
it
or whatever.
started out.
That's how it started, right?
Get those people.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
very aspirational.
Yeah.
It was,
Right.
and it gave me FOMO like a mofo. And
FOMO mofo.
FOMO.
He's been working on that.
I have been saving that line
It's
for like
I've
10
got to
days
work
now.
this in somehow.
Guys, leave him alone. He's doing good. Go ahead, keep going, man.
I don't like being on camera. And yeah, I like no joke about mid-year kind of had a little bit of a mental breakdown. I got like so caught up in my work because I didn't know what else to do.
Oh yeah.
Like the uncertainty of everything, like I just couldn't, I had to focus on something, so I focused on work because that was like a known path that I could continue. My job, I'm a software developer. I'm very fortunate to be able to just do what I do anywhere that I have internet access. And so I kept doing it, but I kept like setting expectations way too high for myself. This was not anybody else doing this.
Yeah, I know your managers and bosses. And
Right, yeah, they're not.
not.
They were not setting the expectations. I was setting the expectations, and then I was like setting myself up for failure. And so yeah, it hit me about mid-year, about like July or August. I was like, kind of had a little bit of a nervous breakdown. Luckily, my wife recognized it, and she's like, "You need to take some time off." And so did that. Started going to therapy. Got better.
Yeah. See, that's what
Yeah.
I like to hear. People going to therapy in the past year.
Oh man. Oh, dude, we don't have enough time to talk about the things I've learned in therapy. Did you guys know there's more than 3 emotions?
Yeah.
No, there's only 2 emotions. On and off.
I didn't know.
Bad.
Rage and everything
Bad.
else.
Rage and
Good.
everything else. Yeah, exactly. I've learned a ton of stuff in therapy, but like I've also just learned to like set expectations lower, set some boundaries, kind of like define the difference between what needs to happen
Oh yeah.
and what you just want to happen or you get to have happen. Like there's big differences, and boy, that helps you.
Boundaries is
Settle
also
down
a
a
thing.
little bit.
Read this book,
Yeah.
Boundaries.
And then the last thing was after I started kind of getting over that, Maddie and I started talking about setting up this channel.
And we actually doing it.
And we're actually doing it
Isn't
now.
that crazy?
And really appreciate you guys, like, really reeling in the cats and dogs.
I'm
Rodeoing
going
the
to
cats
enjoy
and
the
dogs.
appreciation also. Sitting between them.
And
Oh yeah, it
like
wasn't.
Andrew
Yeah, it
said,
wasn't just me and
We're
Maddie.
keeping
yeah.
the bar so low, expectations so low.
You're going to get a new episode every year.
Once a year.
Anything else is bonus content.
This
That was
is just
also
my
the
excuse to
name
hang out with you guys.
of the show. That was the other name I threw out, was Lower Expectations.
I think
Oh,
that's
yeah.
great.
Lower
Realistic
expectations.
expectations or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
That was a
All right,
skip.
Tina, you're singing.
What did you
been up
do?
to?
What did I do? Like literally, I was a couch goblin. Like
the
I
couch
had,
goblin?
I had plans. I was going to do TikToks. I was going to do this and this, and then like unfortunately, I got diagnosed because I got really sick at the beginning of January, and then I just had no energy. Like
Diagnosed with what?
chronic mono.
You weren't just bored?
I was not bored.
But she didn't get from kissing
I think
anybody.
this is
Just mono.
I will purpose it. I got
But-
reactivated
Exactly.
chronic mono, which is apparently a rare thing, which is just fatigue. Like you're just constantly fatigued. So I did nothing for the first couple of months except lay on the couch and just too tired to really do anything. Scrolled on TikTok. That was about it. And then I started feeling better. Started doing a few TikToks. Didn't really do much except play video games, particularly Genshin Impact.
Yes!
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah.
My
So,
daughters are into that. Now I feel old.
Listen, they can play with us.
I don't want that.
Yeah, that's.
I've got so many 5-star characters.
I don't know what that means.
So here's the thing, like, I love the ideal of playing with people. I love the ideal of MMOs. I have played Monster Hunter World, you know, like,
Yep.
actually playing with strangers online. Like, as soon as someone, like, hey, join my party, I'm like, log out.
Look up.
See, Tina, what you just described is like real life. I love the idea of hanging out.
Well, see, as
Yeah,
social as I am, exactly what you said, I went all the way through Monster Hunter World by myself, including all the nasties. And it's like, okay, now that I beat the game all by myself, then maybe
Well, I will
I'll
say
play
with
someone
Monster
else.
Hunter World, I was actually fine with foreign players because they don't really talk to you
That's
because
true.
there's a language barrier.
Yeah.
And so you just sort of have this harmonized play.
They're still
Which
talking.
is,
They're don't
Talking,
understand.
you know what they're
So
saying.
for everyone
No.
else here, Genshin Impact, right, is a free online game. It kind of came out in the past year, so it just blew up. It's also a gacha system, which
Oh,
means
yeah.
kind of like it's like gambling.
Oh yeah. Oh,
You gotta keep like
Oh, right.
turning in
right.
stars, and you hope you get the character that you want.
right. Even
So it's free to play, but naturally you're like, well, I
Spending
want this
$1,000.
character.
I really
the
gotta.
latest
I
character
spent
that I saw
money
that
on
was Unleashed was like, ooh, I need to get into this game.
So a
She's
lot
fine.
of people, they would joke it looks like a fake Breath of the Wild.
Yep.
But it's really been great, and it's been
It's
great during this past year because it
gorgeous.
updates often. Everyone's playing, it's free. So
Yeah, I mean, the game is absolutely gorgeous. Even Heather was like, "This game, how is it free?" And I was like, "Well, they've got a gotcha system, so
Yes, it's not free.
it's not free, but." I mean, it is free if you do it like I do. I haven't spent a dime
I
on it.
spend money.
I do.
You can support the developers.
I played the long games. That'll take me
I say the
2
people
years.
characters.
That I will not share.
Yeah.
Oh no!
That's not healthy.
I don't think this channel is about healthy habits.
Hey, we got
It
therapy.
can be.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was,
Absolutely. Yes.
Thanks, Tina.
You're welcome. But I also got back into No Man's Sky, which no one talks about. But that's what I do. I just
Yeah, no
want to
one-
go
no
and
one talks
learn
about
the alien languages because I'm a boring person.
I think that's great.
I mean, that's
watch-
gonna
I
come
watch
in handy
anime.
one day.
Yeah, that's
No, I think this has been the time that you're just sitting there by yourself. It's the time for you to do the cool, nerdy things that no one else would ever
Oh,
do
it
these things with.
absolutely bores
Yeah.
my wife.
Yeah.
She's like, "Are you still doing this? You've talked to how many? Why are you going to these space stations just to talk to these?" And I was like, "I gotta get all the words. I gotta know what they're telling me." And she's like, "Why don't you actually do the storyline?" I'm like, "No, it doesn't exist to me. It's just I've gotta learn these languages."
That game has come a long
That is-
way since the beginning, and yeah, the fact
I
that
don't.
you
And once again, no MMO. I don't play with other people. I do not do the online multiplayer. Nope. Just me.
Could have learned like real languages.
Nope.
that's not as much
No,
fun.
no speak to other people. Not fun.
Okay.
Yeah. And anime. I mean, that's manga and anime.
You should tell me all the anime that I missed. We should talk about that another time.
Make an episode. Add to
Absolutely.
list.
There you go.
Hold on.
So, Dan, you have big life change. You like moved and everything.
Yeah, I like moved and everything. Okay. I'm
So did I guess.
yeah, no, we've been looking to move for a long time, and the neat thing. So we moved in March, and we started moving the previous October, because we found a perfect house. It's great. I have my own office space, a dedicated space, similar to this space,
It's
similar
nowhere near as
to
cool
a
as
space
yours.
that Omar has been known to use from time to time,
My
where
basement.
you can put your things on display. And so now you know, where we have a lot of episodes in the can talking about Transformers and have Dan's very like, oh, you know, 1 in, 1 out, and like gotta be real strict about what you can put up. No, I don't have to-
you
I
were
don't-
limited
I
to
don't-
space.
I don't have to be strict anymore.
Now you can get 2
Uh,
Unicrons.
I am
Talking about unhealthy habits.
the unhealthy habit number 1. All the things that I sold over the years that I say, you know what?
Trying to rebuy all those Optimus Prime,
That
baby.
was cool, and
I
I should not have
regret.
sold it, and now
That's right, man.
I can rebuy it.
That's now you have become an adult.
That's how we measure adulthood.
That's adulthood.
Is when you rebuy the things you sold because you didn't have money as a kid.
And now for a markup.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, well, exactly.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that.
Definitely a cure for
Dirty
dirty
scalpers.
But it's just been nice to be able to, like, I spend my spare time up there figuring out exactly how I want everything to be and rearranging it, and that's very healthy.
That's a Zen garden
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah, I mean it's a Zen garden if
Yeah.
the rocks were all individually packaged and had to be purchased separately.
But in a way, it
so
is.
And moving parts.
Yeah,
I
and
feel like
multiple
people
floors.
could like. I think you could do a whole series. People could hire you to be like, "Can you just come over and look at my space and like give your tips?" Because when I walked in Beers, I was like, "This is everything I want." And to my husband, "We
Nice
gotta go to
setup.
IKEA. This is what I want it to look
Yeah,
like."
Dan,
All the
I need to
lights."
come over. I
The
need to
setup.
Oh my God.
I'm thrilled with the setup, and it was because it was a new space, and because I really didn't have. I mean, I was coming from 2 Detolfs in my living room, right? So I was able to kind of just map out. Okay, in a perfect world, how would I set up this room? And then really the only limits were how much money do I want to put into it, and how many damn times like am I going to have to go to IKEA because IKEA can't keep a Billy bookcase in stock.
Not last year. It was
No.
impossible to
No.
find.
Yeah.
So I got very familiar with the trip to the Cincinnati and Columbus IKEAs, going to get like 1 or 2 bookcases when they would have them in
You ain't
stock.
paying for shipping, baby. That's right.
No, they wouldn't even ship.
Yeah, no, there for a while.
Oh, they wouldn't ship them.
Yeah, no.
No.
Wow, they were really out.
So I mean, it took about 2 months to get the room furnished the way I wanted to, and that's really what I've been focusing on is getting that. And obviously, I've been working a lot and whatnot, but in the time that I've spent, it's been furnishing the room with the shelves and the setup and the lights, and all the shelves are individually lit, and everything is voice controlled, and it's all
It's voice control.
yeah.
That's like the sexiest
All the lights
thing
are
I've
voice
ever
controlled.
heard.
It is extremely sexy.
It's a sexy room.
Oh my
Uh,
God,
Full of Transformers.
And then
Dude, all he needs is a little voice to man in the background.
Ooh, yeah.
But then going in and figuring out, putting stuff on shelves, and then it's like, okay, well, now I have some empty space. Where do I want to focus efforts now?
Yeah.
And then now that things are opened back up, going to different toy shops around, and trying to, with a list of like, both these are the things that I sold off a long time ago that I would really like to have now that I have the room to have them again.
Mm-hmm.
And also, these are the things I didn't get the first time around because I didn't have space.
yeah.
And that doesn't sound the most healthy when I say it now.
But everyone else
but it
has
is-
kind of interior decorating over the past year. That's what you're doing.
Oh yeah, no,
Right.
absolutely. But it's been a lot of fun, both from just the collecting standpoint and the hunting standpoint.
Oh,
Because
that's
now
always
it's
fun for me,
the hunt is I've said it a million times is the biggest part of this hobby for
Yeah.
me in a lot of
Yep.
ways. And hunting new things has been hard for the past while.
I think that's
And,
every
I mean, just
person collector sells out immediately.
Yeah,
well, yeah. I mean, distribution is so screwed up.
Shipping's a nightmare.
Shipping is it's hard. People aren't getting their orders. Finding stuff in stores has been a nightmare. But now it's also, it's basically I have a big long list of just stuff from the past that I'm trying to keep an out for at a price I can stomach paying for it. And so it's really like a new. It is a new phase in being a collector that I've really enjoyed.
Yeah, and then soon you've got, as long as things are stable, you can go to BotCon or whatever and Transformers Con and like
Well,
TFCon.
TFCon.
we're going to TFCon in October.
Can I go?
Which is crazy.
Yes, yes, you can.
I've read some books now.
I promise you that if you were to go, there would be a lot of More Than Meets the Eye in
What?
third-party
No.
artist merch.
I've seen it. I've
She
already
said-
added a ton of my favorites list on
Yeah.
Etsy.
Oh, there's a ton of it there. Yeah.
So, Omar.
What's up? Talk to me.
Now, this is like
No one's talked to Omar.
I'm ready.
Please talk to me.
I've been
I've
ready.
been talking to myself in a screen for so
He
long.
has been stuck in an
I
introvert's world
have
for an
won
extrovert.
every argument
Yeah, really.
that I've
We-
had with myself.
We thought about making a lot of jokes about how like you're normally stuck in your basement, and here you are existing in a space that is not your basement.
Someone else's basement, right?
It is really weird when I go to sit down and it's not in the same space that I'm used to sitting in.
I was
this
like,
has
who
been-
rearranged my stuff?
I feel like as far as like anybody who are like, what have you been up to? We have a pretty good idea because like things have really changed and blown up for you. You've like really full-time job, like
Yeah.
moved to YouTube.
I have
And now
tell us about that.
You must be way too busy with comic books to ever be able to enjoy any other hobby ever again.
That is also true. I have, I've made YouTube full time. It's been nice.
And scary.
And scary and a lot of work, but a lot of fun. And yeah, you know, Human Condition is now, like you said, the comic book centric or collected edition centric channel. So that's what I've been doing every day, including this morning before we came over here.
When I say every day, I mean
Literally every day.
How meticulous is your schedule that you have now? Because you told me
Or
you
have you
got
put together the schedule yet?
Have you guys heard of these things called a calendar? Well, I wasn't until I think I was 42 years old when I discovered this calendar thing that you guys have been using and people at work use. And I always was wondering why I'm late to meetings and things like that. But it's broken down. It's pretty cool, man. Like do a lot of reading, do a lot of video editing, and everything in between. Research.
How quickly can you churn out a video?
It depends on the type of video, right? Like if it's an overview and I'm familiar with content, I can do that pretty quick. 2 hours probably, because I have to edit.
Bless.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's not easy. Like it does. We make it look easy, right? Andrew's always made this look easy, but there's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes, especially if you want your video to look good. You have to make sure your audio is good, the lighting is good.
Make sure your pets aren't running around
Or your children are
My
coming in.
my kids have been
But they've
wonderful.
been
They know.
helping you.
Like turn the air off. Turn the air off. Get the dog to stop barking. Throw them in the back room. Like they've been great, and nobody sees the cuts like that, right? It's a lot of fun trying to discover what's good, what hits, what sticks. But that's what I've been doing full time. As far as other hobbies, I play on my Switch from time to time. Watch things while I edit. So they're normally stupid things like Hell's Kitchen. Stuff that I
Great
don't.
Yeah, I see you signed on to the PlayStation
Quit
all the
stalking
time.
me.
I keep sending you requests.
I'm not playing your Genshin Impact with you.
I keep
You're
opening
my
my
friend.
Hulu that your account's on to see,
That's more like it.
to see what you've been watching.
Tina will text me, can you get off my Hulu, please? I like to watch more whatever she's into. I know.
Funimation, Crunchyroll.
So no, I haven't seen any anime outside of watching Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann with my kids and Evangelion with my kids,
There you go.
which was really cute. Like both Lydia reacted. We skipped the sexy scenes and the really
I
creepy
was gonna say,
scene with.
these aren't
Oh, someone's gonna
There
ask
was
really
one
anime.
specific scene in the movie.
Maybe Precure would be their speed, but like,
No, man,
The cool stuff.
Lydia's in the really cool stuff. Like,
have you
wait,
seen Precure?
yeah.
Like, girls
old.
die.
Have you seen Evangelion? I mean, everyone dies.
So like, I want to have my kids see these things too, but like Dragon Ball and One Piece and all
But-
those other things. But like, they're just they just need a few more years.
It's you try to keep your kids as
okay, then
innocent as
start them in
possible.
the Namek Saga. And you'll have a few more years before they get
true,
to
that's
anything
true.
interesting.
My kids had the audacity to complain about season 3 of Dragon Ball Z. We watched it last summer because we're trying to.
Built 5
Yeah.
minutes.
So they did, right? And I knew and like any normal human being, I knew they were going to complain about why is it
5
taking
minutes
5
taking
more
like 5
episodes?
episodes?
And I said, this is how you learn to appreciate things in life. You have to go through this madness that we all did, and there was no fast forward. We used to have bootleg copies of these things.
That's
Yeah,
why
absolutely.
I stopped watching it.
Yeah, it wasn't even that it was just taking so long. It was I paid a lot of
Yes,
money.
yeah.
Exactly.
VHS tapes were
Each
$35.
Right.
And there has
We
been an
got a
actual story beat
VHS
in
with
these
4
three
to 5
tapes.
episodes, and it was just them gearing up to fight.
Yeah.
All those episodes.
Yeah,
Worth it.
yeah. I remember one tape was just them charging. That was it. The whole tape.
Half the
was
tape
them
was the
charging.
recap of the last episode. Yes, I know what happened, but I'm not fast forwarding. By all means, tell me what happened last episode.
It's been
I
nice to
paid for
see you
this
be
stuff.
able to like involve your family more and do more stuff with them, like with this too.
Yes.
Like,
So
that's super
unlike
exciting.
regular work, like because I was doing IT for 20 years, couldn't involve my family, and it's something that Lydia and Alicia have been wanting to do, and it's really cute the way they want to do it. Like Alicia said, can I just open up a box and like stuff? Like she wants to. What's the stuff that you like? Unboxing. No, the miniature gashapon. Gashapon unboxing.
But that's what she wants to do. She
And I'm
wants
like,
to
yeah,
do, like,
my girls love
I was like, start your own channel. Oh my god,
She-
this is collected edition. But yeah, both of them have been reading comics, the old school comics,
Oh,
like
nice.
old Silver Age
Silver Age
comics.
stuff, okay.
That's
Wow.
completely outdated. Man, I'm really surprised.
How are they reading it? Like physical or Kindle?
So Marvel started this new line called the Mighty Marvel Masterworks, which reprints the classic Silver Age stories of Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, X-Men. So it's cute to see it through my daughter's perspective because she's a lot more mature than I was, and I am at times.
Still.
Because when she
She's
brings
very
up
passionate
things
about
that I didn't even think about, like she talks about like the lack of minorities, and she's like, "But you have to understand." She's looking at the camera. She's like, "You have to understand. This is before integration in schools in the 1960s." And I was like, "How did you know that?"
She read Stan Lee's blog. And
She
Daughter
researched.
is cool as hell.
Yeah, she is. She is really cool. She researched it, right? Because she knew, like, okay, there's no, there's no black people, there's no Latin people in here, like, and because Marvel at the time has always been the world outside your window. That's what they've been known at. And since it started in 1962 with Spider-Man, yeah, that was before the integration.
So you're saying she's seeing comics that you grew up with through a modern lens.
Yeah, but she also realizes that because she knows, like, she's reading Fantastic Four. And the treatment of Sue Storm in Fantastic Four is usually like, oh, the girl, that's just the girl that gets kidnapped most of the time. Even though she has really cool powers, it's not until probably issue 30, and I was explaining to her, it's not like until issue 30 or something that Stan Lee and Jack Kirby decided to do, something interesting with her instead of her just being the girl that gets kidnapped by Namor.
Yeah.
But they understand that, or Lydia does a lot more than Alicia. So it's really cute to watch them just read these old school stories and school me on some manga
That's awesome.
I love that.
and Pokemon. They school me on Pokemon. Alicia schools me on Pokemon.
Pokemon.
She makes
Pokemon.
we read the manga. We review the manga for Viz, and I try to guess the people's names, and she makes fun of me.
I like that.
This
too.
is Mount Electric Mousesaur.
No, I can gab. No, my freaking. That's Onyx. She's like, I wish I could curse. But that's just her reaction. I was like, that's Steel on or whatever it's called, Steel on Eggs or something like that.
Dude, I hate it when the girls ask me questions. Which Pokemon is this?
You don't know.
I don't know. Like I feel bad on the video game.
Who's that Pokemon?
But that's what I've been up to, and now I'm here hanging out with you kind folks.
Finally.
And it's
See you,
nice
sir.
to, not run it. You guys can run it, and I just
I
sit
know.
here and talk. It's nice.
Yeah. And we talk back.
Oh, by the way, you need to edit this episode. There's no one on the camera.
Right.
Yeah, I'm done.
What video game? What you been up to? What's happening? What's
Okay.
You swore off video games very early on.
Admittedly,
You have another daughter.
admittedly,
What?
Oh, you didn't know? Okay. No more children that I'm aware of in the house. I want to talk about the kids and the games. That's what I want to talk about real quick. Okay. So we were doing, my wife and I are fortunate enough, working in IT, working in video games, that we can work from home. And the children, we decided to put them in virtual school. I've always said that like teachers need like double the salary that they get. After doing virtual school with my kids, 2 of them, and then while the baby's running around, teachers need 4 times the salary. It's amazing what they do. And the virtual teachers that my girls had, like, I don't know where they learn these techniques to get kids' attention and make them focus on the screen rather than like YouTube and ballooning around. But not only do they keep them like, folks, I mean, I had to jostle them a little bit. Look this way, kids, stay in the camera. So there's plenty of background video of me going,
It's usually me screaming at the kids going, is the camera on? Because I'm about to take a shower. Does that happen
I
once?
learned very quickly that I need to wear pants and a shirt all the time.
Just imagining you behind that camera with like a cat toy.
Focus. But like they actually learn stuff. So it was really cool to have us all together. We would have lunch together and like, we'd have tea parties and stuff together. It's like, okay, this is actually cool to spend time with the girls, with the family. Even though there were definitely days that the wife and I were drinking a little bit more
See,
than
you
the middle
guys
of the
had
day.
such an interesting experience with your kids because mine are teenagers, and so they learned how to stay up in their rooms. Interact with anyone.
And like, as you might guess, there's gonna be times where like my wife usually she had meetings in the morning and me and working with like overseas folks I did my meetings in the afternoon. So I would handle them in the live morning sessions, and then she would handle them for like the afternoon sessions. But there'd be sometimes where both of us were in meetings and calls, and like when we're in meeting, cameras are on, mics are on, like we can't do anything. So the children would run rampant. So but we got through it. It's cool. They actually learned how to read and math and do things like that. Like they're better than they were. So that's definitely a blessing. It's cool to spend time with them and do that type of things. So that's one thing. Hey, that wasn't that long-winded. That was
No, it was great.
Okay. The other thing was video games. I don't normally have
There's
time
that sound bar.
to play video games, right? I had time to jump into remember I was telling you about like ultra nerdy.
Wait, did you open things?
Oh yes, I did. I opened and played and hacked things. Time that I normally wouldn't have. I guess I have time to jump into this real technical nitty gritty stuff and actually play some games. So I want to talk about 3 things, and you need to hold a timer to me. Okay? Ready? Go. First thing that I did. Okay, before you start the timer, I have to tell you that.
I'm going to talk
I'm
about
not gonna tell you.
the 5 honorable mentions.
Like, we're editing all this out, right?
No,
We're stopping at the kids.
No
right?
cuts.
When I was in Japan, a Dragon Quest movie came out. I was like, oh my gosh, we should go watch the
I
Dragon
saw
Quest
that
movie,
in
right?
theaters
And I was
in
like,
Japan.
wait, I don't understand Japanese well enough to go to actually watch this movie. And the movie was based on Dragon Quest V, which I had not played all the way through. All right, so I was like, fudge, I'll come home. And I'm like, we have all this copious free time to play video games. So I found this is Dragon Quest V. I got an English translation for it. Played through the whole game with it on a real Super Nintendo, not with an emulator with save states. Like me having to go back to the king and save each time. So the girls and I, and like when I say the girls, I mean the wife and the children, we all played all the way through the beats of Dragon Quest V. And the story, I'll talk about it on the later episode of Near Mint Collective, is fantastic and phenomenal. So we play the game, we laugh, we cry, and then we go watch the movie. And all of us sitting at the family and like, oh, you hear that music? Oh, you see that character? Oh, this, that. It was freaking awesome. Like playing Dragon Quest V and then watching the movie that we thought we were going to see in Japan but couldn't see it. That was so much fun. We did the same thing with Dragon Quest 3 because this is also one of the highest rated Dragon Quest games. We go to your top 10 list of.
This is the remake on the Super Nintendo.
Correct.
Famicom.
Like let's do the same thing again. So again, dump.
Those games are long.
Yes.
So that's.
When I say I played all the way through,
That's
I mean,
impressive.
it's a month and change. I mean, all right, and I can't play it by myself. They'll get mad at me if I skip things without them being there. Now, you said it's a long game. You're absolutely right. This is also
Dragon Quest is long.
they're long. This is the one we just finished very recently. Also fantastic, great game. I'll talk about it more in a later episode. But I have 6 good jobs and 85 children. I do not have time to sit and grind on a Dragon Quest game. So I gave myself a little bump in experience. I found this a level, not a level.
Oh, I thought
Okay,
you were gonna do.
Cut the
Omar.
Okay, don't listen to Omar.
Wait, what?
Listen.
That's actually good
I'm-
advice.
I'm all about that, especially like when they re-release or redid a lot of like PlayStation 1 games like Final Fantasy 7,
they
8,
have
9.
the quick battle in Final
Oh
Fantasy
my
9, right?
God. There's
So
nothing like just
But
speed.
You have
missing-
kids.
Right, that's what I was gonna say.
I give my
Do
kids
what
my
Omar
controller.
does.
Hold on. So this is true. I should just. But here you go.
They
behind this.
leveled up for
So
me
I didn't
while I
go
took a
crazy.
nap.
Matt, you and I were going to talk about this. I didn't go crazy. I just did the main character. I didn't give myself like all the weapons and items stuff. Just a little bit of string, 255, and a little bit of gold, 65, 535. But everyone else I didn't touch. So I had to grind everyone else because my dude is like whack, but then everyone else is like tink. But that still made the game where I could get through the story, get through all that stuff, and then toward the end when all the extra stuff comes, I actually had to But the point is, that wasn't the point. The point was to get through these games with the children and experience the story, which is what we did. So that was a lot of fun playing Super Nintendo, Super Famicom Dragon Quest game.
And this is a memory that your kids will always cherish.
Absolutely.
Or hate.
And it was really
Like
cute.
every time you bring up Dragon Quest, they're
Don't
like,
remember it all.
Oh, they know the music.
Not the summer of Dragon
They
Quest
hear the
again.
music. It's also really cute because we're looking at these 16-bit graphics. My oldest stops. She's like, there's a scene where you walk over a bridge in Dragon Quest V. You can see like a castle below, spoilers. And my kid goes, Daddy, that's absolutely beautiful. I'm like, the parallax scrolling
And then she said, nerd.
nerd. Yeah, the baby was like, whack, being a nerd, Dad, and give me some cereal. So that's thing number 1. Dragon Quest.
That was one.
That was a long story, I'm sorry, but like that was a big thing for me, was playing Dragon Quest and the story with the kids. Second thing, because I had a little bit more time, I could really play with arcade stuff. Since I couldn't go out, and you guys know I'm kind of the social guy, I like to go out and go to the arcade. Since I couldn't do that, I decided to bring the arcade to my house. So, for example, this is CPS1 hardware. This is actually what
What? Where did you
What's
put
mounted
this?
in a.
this is actually what would be inside of a
Yeah.
Street Fighter or Ghouls and Ghosts or Final Fight. That one is Strider. Now, what's really cool about the
It's my dog's name.
Yes, that's exactly That's exactly what it's named after. What's really cool about this community is like you can just go on eBay and get these things, but there's like forums like the Video Game Foundation forum, the Arcade Projects forum, etc., etc. And they talk to these guys, and you can ask them any of these questions. Like, hey, I'm trying to make this work with such and such TV, and they just answer your questions. Like, I want to help you out. They sell you, buy, sell, and trade. Things are not cheap, Dan, to your point, but not crazy expensive because people want to like give their boards other people to good homes, right?
Yeah.
And the community is super friendly. I have several threads with these people I've never met before of like, hey man, you help me get this hardware. How do you know how to make this Street Fighter thing where I'll rent you a cable and I won't charge you, or I'll burn you some ROMs,
Yeah.
I won't charge you other than shipping. So it's been really cool to get into, and I'll print you this acrylic case. This is acrylic. These are
that's
3D
nice.
print little pieces. Yeah. So the inside. This is what would be in an arcade. So like
Can I touch these capacitors?
they're recapped. So yes, you can. touch the capacitors. Yeah, I sent it to a guy like, hey, my Donkey Kong ain't working. So
Did your little arcade board stop working?
my Donkey Kong.
The stand up?
No, not the
sit down one.
the big one, not the sit down.
Oh,
The
okay.
still working, but the cocktail's still working. But the big one quit working. Like Mario was only black and blue, like he'd been punched in the face. So the same guy, I was like, "Hey man, my Donkey Kong." He's like, "Send it to me." Send it to him. He's like, "Oh, this thing right here just needs to be boop." And all he charged me was for shipping and like parts.
Oh, it just
That's
came unseated.
Yeah. So what's really cool about this is now I have like actual arcade stuff in my house, and B, I've really made some really cool connections with like people in the industry who love the technology, in addition to the game.
What do you put this in? An arcade cabinet? Like,
So
do you have an arcade cabinet?
I do not, because I need to finish my basement. I can't finish the basement because lumber's so high.
It is very expensive.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I would love to do a basement like this, or like your basement, or like your basement, or like your basement, or like your basement. But I do not have I need to get lumber and all that. But when that happens, I will buy an arcade cabinet to put everything in. In the interim, you can get something called a super gun. Screech! That goes into this pan right here, and then when you plug in a super gun, the output goes to a TV and a stereo speaker and controllers. Like this controller.
Oh.
right here.
Just happen to
okay.
have right here.
Like this controller, that I always keep these controllers. You never know when you need
Virtua
it.
stick.
Yeah. So in the interim, until I get like a real cab, these things play on my TV and stuff at home. So playing arcade games, especially with the kids, has been fun. Like they was now spontaneously like, Daddy, my baby, she's 3. She figured out how to start Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game, and she figured out how to. She says, "I logged everybody in." That's just where she puts money in for all 4 of them. And she's figured out like, okay, left goes left, right goes right, up down. And she's figured out she's played through the game. She's like, "Daddy, come play this with me." And at first, she would only go through a level or 2, and then she'd stop. But like the last time, she just kept going and kept going. It's like, if you want to stop, it's okay. It's like, no, let's keep going. So we get to Bebop and Rocksteady. We get to the end, and then the other two were like, "Hey, I know y'all been playing. You're at Shredder. Can we join?" Like, I guess you can join now that we're at the end, you jerks.
You have one kid that's more into video games than the other kids. So, and I feel like with my kids, like Alicia is huge into video games. Lydia likes video game soundtracks, but Alicia likes video games more. Like she was playing City Connection with me, and that's her choice. Like I always Bubble
She
Bobble
loves
1 and
Bubble
2.
Bobble. Oh, the kids, we all.
Yeah, but they love Undertale. Both of them like Undertale, but like old school, like Panel de Pon, like things I never played.
Yeah.
I was like, what the heck is Panel de Pon?
Our family loves, especially like the kids, Bubble Bobble, and we have one of those 1,300 games on an arcade one-up cabinet. We've talked about this before, and they find the most random games. Like
Which
what
is
game
the
is it?
most fun?
K-Dash. I did not show them K-Dash. They found Dungeons and Dragons. They found
Capcom?
Yeah, the Capcom one. Like they found that. Bubble Bobble and all these other things. They found one where there's a Sega game and you're a dog and you say bark and it hits cats. I don't even know what it's called. Like, where do you want to find this? And they're like, I don't know. We just push the button. Like, Bomberman. They found that. So yeah, I think. I don't know. That's a good question. They all, even the baby, they all really enjoy playing video games. So that's been cool to do that, especially arcade games in the past, put them together.
That's really cute
That's
about
very
her
cool.
saying, logged you guys in.
Load you guys in.
That's adorable.
Okay, last one, and I'll make this super brief. I talked to you about how shipping has been terrible.
Tell me
I thought
more.
this was gonna go, but okay.
You bought a ship?
So I've invested
ship
in
has
container
sailed.
shipping.
So I have a shipping container business. No, I'm kidding. So again, talking to these guys in the arcade industry, I've always wanted something called the Sharp X68000. It had the best version of Castlevania, arcade copy versions of Capcom games, etc. So it's a fantastic, the ultimate 16-bit machine that we never got in America. And I've always wanted one, but they've all been way too expensive, like thousands of dollars. I don't have it. One guy on these same forums was like, hey, I'll get you one for a few $100. It just needs a little bit of work. And I was like, few $100, sold! Well,
Is that how you keep your wallet?
No, it
He
was
was pulling out his like,
He's getting, the money comes out of the bra.
It might be a little moist,
It was a
but
few $100. Oh wait, maybe I can swing that. Can you hang on to this for a few months? He does. I tell the wife, she's like, you've lost your mind, but go ahead. Sold. That's actually how it went. Shipping took 5 months
that's believable.
from California, not from overseas.
Oh, whoa.
From California to get here.
Still believable.
Talk to like USPS. I was like filing claims. It was horrible. But
Oh,
one,
that's scary.
oh dude, it was terrible. Cause and like again, the thing, even though it was not terribly expensive, it was still like hundreds of dollars, right?
And you don't want your money back. What you want is the
'cause
actual
that's
product.
the thing. Like
Yeah,
I was on the
absolutely.
claim, like, hi. I don't really care about like money back. I mean, I'll take it so I can try and find another one. But to find like the dude had restored it and fixed it, I can't buy another one of these.
Right.
So 5 months later, literally, bing, you have a delivery out for you. And I was like, Fred, here it comes. This is after many failed attempts at USPS. So I'm hoping USPS is doing a better job of
Could have
shipping.
driven to California.
Yes, I could have. I should have. Oh, it was infuriating. But the wait.
Did you bring it with you?
The reason
You were so crazy.
I brought it here. Yes, it was a seatbelt on the way over here. This is the X68000. Now, in the interim of me having this thing
What
and
is
waiting
it?
5 months, this is a Japanese 16-bit computer that plays the most amazing arcade games you've ever played. And again,
Better than the arcades.
to either on par, like Final Fight on this is perfect because this is very similar hardware, or versions of Castlevania, Akumajo Dracula, the best
Okay.
version of Akuma Dracula is on this.
That's
So,
Castlevania.
and also there's a huge community of people who are also equally nerdy about this. So in the interim, like I'm having people mail me like floppy that takes 5 1/4 floppy disks. I'm having people in Mexico make adapters that fit for my controllers. I'm having people in Sydney do
Where are you
power
hanging
things.
out? Most people want to rip me off and sell me like $1,000 Sentinel that I missed. And that thing was only $300. People are like, "Oh, here, Rob, I'll send you something for free."
This so I couldn't talk to people, but I could type a whole bunch of things to a bunch of people in all over the world. So playing with this thing, getting up and running and playing games, and I played all the way through. So it wasn't just like, oh, I have it and I'm gonna touch. No, I played all the way through Dracula. I played all the way through these games.
Your
It's
power
really cool.
button's missing.
Yeah,
How do you turn it on?
because you use a standard. It's been modded to use a standard ATX power supply.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tina.
I know what the word is.
So all of that is to
Ask
say,
me.
all that here. Take a look. Take a look.
Don't drop that, please.
Oh,
Don't drop
yeah,
that.
again,
I'm so scared.
again.
Why did you bring that? You
Again.
could have just told us and showed us a picture here.
You can edit all this out. The point of all my long-windedness is I had a chance to really geek out with some arcade hardware with the family. Because the girls were watching me play Dracula and they thought the music is like some of the best music you could ever hear, and it really is. And Dracula was scary. They said the Dracula was scary. Geek out with the family, play games, and do things I wouldn't normally have a chance and have time to actually do. So that was my summer.
Nice.
All right.
Wow.
I feel like I didn't do as much as everybody else.
Oh God, what did you
Hold
do?
on, hold on,
Maddie,
hold on,
what have
Maddie,
you done?
Maddie, what have you been? What
What
have
have you been up to?
girl?
Well, I moved too. I'm still in the process of finishing this basement
Yep.
that was behind
This
me.
basement is stunning.
Thank
Well
you.
done.
Yeah.
Just needs a couple
Come over
more
to my basement.
things. And I've still been doing live shows like 2 a week. Old Rear, New Rear on Tuesdays.
High
Fangirl
five.
Assemble. Yeah.
High five.
Fangirl Assemble on Sundays. So still be keeping that up. Still, that's the only way that gets me to read anything, typically.
So I started the segment so I could read books.
Got promoted at work, which is pretty
Yay.
cool. Been fostering pugs. Besides that, I've been doing a lot of stuff that other people here have been doing.
Have you made sourdough?
No.
My wife did.
Yeah, my wife did too.
Hey, it's her turn. You had your.
I just asked.
So, like, Tina, I've been playing a lot of Genshin Impact, playing a lot of just random games that come out throughout the year, like Final Fantasy VII Remake, played that in a weekend and then replayed it, of course. I've been playing a lot of like Digimon and random stuff that's come out later, like the Mana games.
Oh, like Collection and Legend and yeah.
I forgot they came out with the Heart HD version of those, right?
And of course watching a ton of movies and TV shows, which I hope to talk about on the show eventually. But we also got, besides like D&D, doing that every week. I stay busy. I don't know how. But we also, the thing I want to talk about, we got really into Gloomhaven, which I would bring the box over here, but it's very big. Which is a, like, kind of it's a board game, but you just continue to play it. It's not like you play it one time and you put it away.
Oh, really? Huh. Okay.
It's expensive, which is why
it's expensive.
But you have like a storyline that you play through, and your characters level up, and you unlock new characters, and you play this. It's almost like playing like a D&D campaign, but more battle than it is role playing. It's just sort of the system. So you open it up, it tells you how to set up the dungeon, you play through it, you get experience and money items, and it's like, okay, now you've unlocked these 2 items on your map. So you take the sticker, you put it on the map, and you keep exploring.
That's
and you can play through the whole thing. And we've gotten really, really into it. And then we got lucky in the past year that they put that on Steam also. So there's also a computer version. So we got really into that too. And I think that's been like the biggest thing that Ellie and I have done together, or times we could see friends.
Yeah.
Like a couple that, like, okay, you can have a character. So you can level up this character when you're over with us. And it's great. Like I love the idea, because we play a ton of board games.
Yeah.
So many board games. You have a whole library. You can't see it from here. But it's nice to have something that you play that just keeps going. It's like having a video game, but in person.
Yeah.
But I think that's been like the biggest thing, really. Like, just all of my nerd stuff just kept doing it, and now we're doing this. So, hopefully with having an extra channel, like a place to put all the extra stuff that's not comics.
All the other nerdy stuff that we're all into.
Which is too many things.
Yeah.
Too many things. All the impulse buying in the past year that I'm sure you all did too, of all that.
What?
My wife all the time is like, what is this shirt from Japan? Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Still can't get a PS5 though, so who cares?
Got a little bit of that,
Oh,
yeah.
talk to me later. There's one in my car.
Talk about a scalp.
And if you know how a girl can go get a PS5, that'd be great.
I got your back.
This is
I
how
got
he
your
lures women to cars. Free PS5s.
Yeah,
And with
most of
no
all,
windows.
You got Omar with a wig on.
Wait. I'm not opposed.
Well, so I'm just excited to be here with you all now, and been waiting for this.
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
helping us get the game together.
Thank you all for coming over to this house.
Yeah. We should do this more often.
I guess we have to. This is how we get together, right? We're sitting back here together. Let's play.
That's how
Right,
that started in the first place.
This is why we do
Just
it.
to hang out.
It's an excuse to hang out, yeah. You got 5, by the way, that was just over 5 years ago.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Near Mint Condition.
Happy birthday, Near Mint
I'm
Condition.
the only one
And
wearing a
family.
shirt, you fake fans.
Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment down below, share with your friends, and subscribe.
I like how Andrew has the monitors turned to where we can't see them, because otherwise I would just be sitting here staring at them.
That's why.
I know. Trouble little teeth.
What type of laugh was that?
That's my. I gotta get into my.
I was going to say more, but I was like, no, that's not appropriate.